Set for release on the 17th of November, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the second game in the franchise, and DICE have basically said that they wanted to listen to gamers' reactions and feedback on the original Battlefront game and improve on many things, and it looks like they have done. So here are 8 cool new improvements to Star Wars Battlefront 2. Number 1, an offline single-player campaign. Now this for me is the biggest thing I wanted to see in the original Battlefront game, and I'm very happy to say that Star Wars Battlefront 2 will have a single player campaign, hopefully grand in scale and decent in length. It is set in the 30-year gap between the destruction of the Death Star and the events of Force Awakens, and is actually for the first time played from the perspective of the Galactic Empire, which is very, very interesting. Players will get to play as the main character, Idan Versio, who is the leader of an elite special forces unit called Inferno Squadron, and these are basically a cross between sort of fighter pilots and commandos. You'll play the story from her perspective. Very little is known about the main story, but I'm very excited to play a new story campaign, something that we haven't seen before in the Star Wars franchise, and I'm very much into sort of delve into that period in that 30-year gap. So I'm happy about the fact that DICE have included a story campaign into the main game. Number 2, space battles. Finally, space battles are here. I have wanted to have space battles in Battlefront really sort of since it came out, and I'm very happy to say that space battles are going to be in Battlefront 2. They haven't really shown us any space battles yet, so we don't know exactly how they're going to work, if they're just going to be sort of a dogfight or if they're going to have sort of mission objectives as you're playing the multiplayer, or maybe perhaps different phases in them. We don't know very much about space battles, but I'm very happy to see that they are in Battlefront 2. Number 3, the multiplayer is finally set across all generations. So you'll actually be able to play across all eras, including the prequel era, the original trilogy, and also the new movies, Force Awakens and The Last Jedi as well. They haven't confirmed that we're going to be able to play as anything from sort of Rogue One or the Star Wars Rebels animated series. I don't think these are going to be included in the game, but I'm happy to see that we're going to be able to get to sort of play as droids and clone troopers, and I think that's going to be really cool. So yeah, we definitely got to see some prequel era gameplay at E3. We saw a massive multiplayer map and game at the EA conference, which was on the city of Theed on Naboo from the prequel area, and we got to see a big sort of 3-phase match between the Federation's droids and the Republic's clone troopers, and it looked lots of fun, and I'm happy to see that droids are back. Number 4, new hero characters and new vehicles. So there have been a couple of hero characters that have been confirmed, including the likes of Rey. Finn will be there as part of sort of a free DLC pack. Darth Maul, we saw Chewbacca in one of the trailers. Kylo Ren again we saw in one of the trailers, and Captain Phasma was also confirmed. So we also know about some sort of returning favourites, including Boba Fett, which we got to see in one of the EA games. I'm sure Luke Skywalker will be there, Darth Vader will be there, and so on. As well, there are some new vehicles that we got to see as well. The Naboo N1 Starfighter, which looks beautiful. Looks like the vehicles handle much better as well. We got to see as well the Republic V-Wing, Federation Vulture Joys, which I love, the AAT tank, which actually had 2 modes. It had sort of normal attacking mode and a siege mode as well, which looked really cool. AT-RTs, which you can ride as clone troopers. Tauntauns as well have been confirmed as being rideable in the Hoth mission as well. So lots of new vehicles, lots of new heroes, and I'm very happy to see that. Number 5, battle points. So finally, DICE have decided to do away with power tokens, and I think this is a good move for them. Instead, they're replacing it with something called battle battle points, which you can earn during matches. And you can earn battle points by sort of killing enemies and completing specific objectives within it. So playing the objectives. As you sort of collect these battle points, you can spend them on sort of special classes and characters, like, for example, certain vehicles like the Naboo 1 starfighter, or the special sort of battle droids. You can also use these battle points as well to play as hero characters. Now, each of these characters will have a cost. The costs have not been set yet. So a hero character, for example, like Darth Maul, in the actual gameplay footage that we saw, cost about 5,000 battle points, whereas in the original trailer it only cost about 2,000. So it looks like DICE haven't really set what those costs are going to be, and maybe they're using EA as a way to sort of test those waters to see how many people are able to earn them. What I do like about battle points as well, though, is that it does make it very sort of strategic, and it does encourage people to play tactically to support their team, because it is a tactical decision on when to use those battle points and when to call in those special characters. Of course, special characters like Darth Maul, for example, are much better in sort of closed environments, up close environments, inside, rather than big sort of open world maps. So I love battle points. I think it's a good decision for DICE to make. Star cards have also been confirmed that they will be back. Number 6, new character classes. Now, this is another big improvement on Battlefront. For the first time now, we can actually customize our characters, and we have a very definite progression system. There are 4 different classes that you can play as: a Assault class, which is your general good all-rounder; a Heavy class, which have an amazing laser minigun, and they're basically like your tanks of the team and are used to sort of push on points; the Specialist class, which is sort of your sniper class, your ranged attacker. They also have trip mines as well; and the Officer class, which is your support class, and they provide things like health. They can drop down turrets and sort of call out points and rally troops and that sort of thing. So I love the fact that they have classes in there now. It means that people can actually find a role for themselves. If you don't want to be sort of an attacking character, you can very much decide to be that Officer class, to be a support character, and you have those choices there. And I think that's great, because it means, again, tactics are going to be a much bigger part of the game, and people trying to play those different roles. There are also some unlockable classes as part of the battle point system. So you can unlock the B2 super droid we saw, which looks great, and the jump trooper is back as well for the clone troopers, and that's also brilliant. Number 7, 3-phase multiplayer maps. Now, we got to see this on the City of Theed on Naboo, and this multiplayer map had 3 phases to it. The beginning phase started as kind of like an open field, all out combat, and the basic idea of the droid, it was to try to protect a tank, basically, to take down the palace, the entrance to the palace. The second phase, then you went into the palace, and it was a much more closed sort of combat, much indoors, basically, as you're trying to take control of the throne room and push into the throne room. And I love the fact that these 3 phases are coming back to Battlefront 3. It's great. It means that the multiplayer maps have some form of like objectives and sort of like story-based type thing, because obviously you have the narration behind you, giving you orders, giving you objectives, and I think that's really great. And the multiplayer map that we saw on the City of Theed, it looked like a lot of fun to play and looked really, really good. And number 8, free DLC content is to come. Now, this is massive, because one of the biggest issues for me in the original Battlefront game is that I thought it wasn't worth the money. I thought it was very, very overpriced. I thought the cost of the season pass was absolutely ridiculous. It was virtually like paying for a brand new game as well, and that there really wasn't much, if any, free. There was some, but there wasn't much free sort of DLC content there to breathe some life and to sort of reward gamers that had bought and stuck with the game all the way through. Well, DICE and EA have confirmed that there will be a lot of free DLC content to come, and that there are actually going to be themed seasons which will provide free content drops in the forms of locations, challenges, rewards, hero characters to play, and the very first themed season drop is going to be based on The Last Jedi, which will be coming out probably sometime in December with the release of the movie, and it will allow you to play as Finn and also Captain Phasma, and also includes 2 new locations, a new planet Crate, and also a space map above the planet Dakar, which is the sort of rebel base effectively in the new movies. So there's a lot of very positive things to say about Battlefront 2, and it looks like DICE have listened to the fans, have listened to the feedback that they've received, and they have implemented a lot of very good cool improvements. So that's everything new and improved about Battlefront 2. Let me know what you think of this game in the comment section below. Will you be buying the game when it comes out on November the 17th? Will you hold off? What do you think of these new improvements? Let me know in the comment section below. I will be back again all week, guys, with more E3 content and coverage. Hope you guys are having a great week. Take care, and as always, happy gaming.